Hi, welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that have been linked with a summer transfer move to Arsenal. And the news is still dominating the place today is the whole Jamie Vardy thing. Jamie Vardy turning down a move to Arsenal, according to Arsene Wenger, according to the newspapers. I did a show on it yesterday. I actually did Transfer Daily in the morning, and then I had to hurriedly do another follow-up show to this one yesterday about Jamie Vardy and the quotes that came out from Arsene Wenger when he was being interviewed on Chinese TV. And his quotes were, Jamie Vardy is at the moment at Leicester, and from what I know, he will stay at Leicester. And that is what Arsene Wenger said to Chinese TV. He also said to them that Arsenal plan to make 3 signings this summer, so another 2 signings. He's saying he doesn't want to mess too much with the balance of the team. Again, I'm not sure how well that went down with a lot of fans, because I think there's some fans out there who'd like to see more than 3 signings in total. But Arsene Wenger there seeming to suggest that the Vardy thing is not going to happen. Or is he trying to put pressure on Jamie Vardy by saying, you know, making it sort of clear that Arsenal are turning their attentions to other targets? Either way, not good to see something like this happen. It really is, I don't know, you've got to say it's embarrassing for Arsenal, because you look at it and you had a deal that was practically done. And you know what, I was reading through the comments yesterday and I see a couple of fans there giving me stick. Oh, Robbie, you said he was coming. Listen, Arsenal met his release clause, right? He was due to go and sign for Arsenal. Now, that's all you can report is the information you have. You're not in Jamie Vardy's head, the person who's going to make the final decision on it. It was all set for him to sign for Arsenal, and he's decided, apparently, according to Arsene Wenger, not to, although we know that Arsene Wenger in the past has played these sort of games. Remember the classic when he was asked about if he was going to sign Santi Cazorla just before he signed him, and he said he'd never even heard of him. So you can never tell with Arsene Wenger. But suggestions definitely from Wenger that Arsenal are not going to sign Vardy. So who, that's the question that everybody wants to know, who do we buy instead? Now, I think one of the obvious players out there that's gettable, it's got to be Alexander Lacazette. He's very similar to Vardy in that he's a goal scorer. He's scored more than 20 goals for the past couple of seasons. Yes, we know that he's going to be overpriced. We know that there's been bids of over £30 million already been turned down from West Ham. So they're going to want a lot of money for him, Leon. But he's, you know, whatever striker you get, you're going to have to pay over the odds. That's why the Vardy thing was so attractive. But you're going to have to pay over the odds. So there's Lacazette there. Romelu Lukaku's there. Again, you're going to have to pay over the odds, but brilliant couple of finishes for Belgium the other day. I know he's still probably pretty raw, but he's only 22. Good goal-scoring record again. Again, another player that is possibly gettable, although now that Everton have got the new owners, they'll probably be pushing for him to stay, but he's definitely gettable. Another target that's emerged this morning, and again, this is not one that's going to get Arsenal fans excited, but it's Stevan Jovetic. Now, you guys all remember Jovetic. Jovetic was a target for Arsenal a couple of seasons ago, decided to go to Manchester City, went to Manchester City, and it didn't work out for him there at all. As you've got to say, he flopped there. Did have a lot of injuries at Manchester City, but just couldn't break into the team. But as I said, before he went there, Arsene Wenger was a big admirer of his. He ended up going back to Inter Milan, or going to Inter Milan. They paid about £30 million for him. And again, it hasn't really worked out for him at Inter Milan. He only scored 6 goals last season. And we're being told by Corriere dello Sport that Arsenal have made inquiries about him, and Inter Milan would be willing to sell him to recoup back the £13.6 million that they spent on him. Again, not the sort of signing that would get Arsenal fans, including me, excited. Stevan Jovetic, not even really, for me, an out-and-out striker anyway. But he's been linked. Nolito, spoke about him yesterday. Nolito again being linked with a move to Arsenal. He's playing for Spain at the moment. Again, 29. And I'm thinking about this Vardy thing. All right, it looked decent, Vardy. because even though he's 29, as I said, he's fairly a young 29 because he's only sort of emerged over the past couple of seasons at this level. But a 29-year-old, you are taking a risk. You know what I mean? You are taking a risk because you are talking about a player that's coming towards the end of his career. With the Vardy thing, it was very cheap. I suppose with Nolito, it'd be fairly cheap because he'd be available for under £15 million. But again, is Nolito gonna get Arsenal fans excited? Is Nolito an out-and-out striker? I don't think so. A lot of people yesterday were suggesting Eduardo Vargas. Now, Eduardo Vargas plays for Chile, a teammate of Alexis Sanchez, was brilliant the other day, scored 4 goals the other day in that game against Mexico, and he's got a great goal-scoring record for Chile, but he hasn't really done it for his clubs. Remember him playing for Queen's Park Rangers in the Premier League, didn't really hit it off. Currently playing his football for Hoffenheim in Germany, scored 11 goals in 32 appearances last year. He hasn't really been able to replicate it at club level, but a lot of people suggesting yesterday when I was asking what striker would you want, they were saying, what about Eduardo Vargas? So Eduardo Vargas is a teammate of Alexis Sanchez. He'd be able to settle in well, maybe alongside Alexis. They'd be able to strike up a good partnership, and maybe he would be a good signing. I'm not sure because, as I said, his club level, he hasn't really done it, but a lot of people were suggesting Eduardo Vargas yesterday. And finally, got to talk about a player I was thinking to myself, must be steaming angry at the moment, and that is Matthew Debuchy. Debuchy, of course, Arsenal player still. You may not realise he's still an Arsenal player, was on a loan at Bordeaux last season. We're being told today that Besiktas are very interested in signing Matthew Debuchy from Arsenal. I think definitely a player that's going to be on his way out. Let's get into what you guys had to say yesterday. And you know what? On the free signings thing, I mean, Wenger was saying that, you know, free signings in total. We lost Mikel Arteta, we lost Thomas Rosicky, he said. We lost Flamini. Free signings, I don't want to mess too much, he said, with the balance of the team. So if he makes free signings, that kind of suggests to me that maybe he's looking then to keep hold of Theo Walcott, keep hold of Oxlade-Chamberlain, maybe even keep hold of Mertesacker, because if he lost 3 players and he's saying he doesn't look to bring in any more than them, you know, again, I'm not sure if Wenger needs to come out with these sort of things, because I think fans at the moment are looking for quite a few signings, but let's wait and see what happens with that. Aaron Adaid said, it's embarrassing that Jamie Vardy, a player that was playing non-league football about 5 years ago, has rejected us. It's pathetic. And as I said, it does come across embarrassing. Badger says, the board and Wenger have turned Arsenal into a circus. Vardy is at Arsenal and is turning down Vardy at Leicester and is turning down a move to Arsenal. How far have we fallen down the pecking order that we can't get players from so-called smaller clubs? And again here, Saligia says we should get Eduardo Vargas instead. He just scored 4 goals against Mexico and he knows how to connect with Alexis very well. There's quite a lot of people that were suggesting that yesterday. Adrian goes on to say he was a flop at Queen's Park Rangers last season and got relegated. He said, and I didn't even see his name on the team sheet. He didn't even play a lot, to be honest, for Queen's Park Rangers. They didn't give him a lot of game time. Eduardo Vargas, I don't know. You know what? Again, I'm going to ask. I've asked this question so many times this season. What striker? That's the difficulty. We all want a world-class striker. What striker's gettable that's world-class that we can bring in? Because we need it badly. Leave it in the comments below. Thanks for watching today. We're off to the Euros today to go and watch England play tonight. So make sure you check out the Man Like Robbie channel. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff over on that channel about the Euros, doing a road trip to St Etienne. And also, let's hope that Jack Wilshere features today. He's got to play. For me, this is not a whole Tottenham bias thing, but for me, Dele Alli, he hasn't done it in the 2 games he's played. Get Jack Wilshere in there, maybe push Rooney into number 10, although they might be resting a few today anyway. But Wilshere has to play. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back round about the same time tomorrow.